Hi, we are at Sheba Hospital at the Ophthalmology department, where we'll actually see a complete process of a patient in the Qflow system. I'm here with Ben Yehuda, VP at Qflow, who will give us an explanation about what we'll be seeing today.
Yossi, we are going to show a whole process that starts by appointment setting. Afterwards, customer is entering the facility and is identified, his appointment is found. Without major waiting time, he will be directed to the right place, he will be called for service, he will be served, and I'll take you through a few stages. We have here somebody from the admin department that is with the customer on the phone, and as she is with the customer, we have a wizard that has few stages where you're going through all the process of identifying customers' needs and matching them with the right service at the right time for the hospital to book it. So the first detail that will be entered will be the customer's ID, and we can move to the next stage where we can see the details of the customer and search for the right service based on available time slot in the calendar. And she's drilling down to the right department all the way to the right service, and following which she's choosing a date or date ranges to start the search for the available time slot. We have quite a few here, so she's checking one of those, continuing on to the last stage where you collect a couple of more details from the customers, such as any comment they wish to leave. This is like a small CRM here that's making sure that all the information possible during the time we book the appointment will be delivered. And shortly after, a letter that summons the customer to come to the hospital at the appropriate time is automatically printed. This letter should only be folded, placed inside an envelope, and that's basically it. It's going to be sent by regular mail to the customer. Now we're going to see a customer approach, and he's holding a letter very, very similar to the one we just printed. He's handing it to the admin manager. She is verifying the appointment is actually valid and is available on the calendar. And once the appointment is identified, she will basically mark the customer as somebody that showed on time to his appointment. Each of these tickets is going to be attached to a process. One of them is handed to the customer for him to wait for his number to be called at a later stage. And the other one is going to ride with the actual physical file that's going to be handed to the doctor. The customer will later on continue and look for one of the screens that are placed all over the hospital to look for his number and to know when he's called for service. Upon calling the patient, the doctor immediately gets a briefing about this schedule, updating him on the reason of the visit and updating him on the details of the customer, which then can identify himself and present a ticket with the number. As part of the regular operation of the doctor, what we can see here is that the doctor can always see all the appointments of the day. By the time that they were submitted, he can see the names of the customers that are going to show. And once a customer shows and checks in, he becomes a blue smiley, unlike those other gray ones that booked appointment but didn't show yet. The doctor can then choose to call the customer, call him forward by pressing one button, and then immediately he gets a screen that has all the details of the customers. As this happens, there is an announcement outside the doctor's room, and the customer knows to show in. This approach time of few seconds is all the doctor needs to review the details of the customer and the reason for his visit.
Okay, Ben, it was really enlightening today. What else did Qflow implement in Sheba that we didn't get a chance to see yet?
Well, there's many options that are basically part of making these practices at their peak of optimization, which means we try to tie together different flows. A doctor can receive a customer and transfer him to a different department where a treatment should continue. We have a solution that manages the workforce load in the facility, guaranteeing that if 100 people come, even when you just expected 60, you will still be able to match your service level and to provide them the service that you wish to give. And on top of that, we are broadcasting information for the customer, informations such as entertainment information and educational information in screens all across the hospital that teach customers more about their health, and sometimes just make them feel as if they waited less because it was interesting as they were waiting.